Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today, I'm going to be giving you 11 travel tips. Now, I've got 22 more, but they're in the article that you're going to have to go check out. I linked to it down below, and that article has a total of 33 tips. So if you want more, if you enjoy this, then go check out the article. And before I get started, really quick, I want to thank Lee Jeans. They made this video possible, and I need to point out that I am wearing their new Modern series. Now, one of the tips I'm going to give you, kind of a spoiler alert here, but is to wear clothing that fits and feels good. So in about 24 hours, I'm going to be on a plane to Australia, and I'm going to be like three flights, about 24 hours in the air, going to the other side of the world. You can bet I'm going to be wearing these jeans because they've just got a little bit of stretch, which makes them incredibly comfortable. And when you're traveling that long, again, you want to make sure your clothing's comfortable, that there are no hot spots. So that you don't get to your destination and you've got some, you just want to feel good when you arrive. So go check them out. Okay, guys. So let me go ahead and dive right in this. The number one tip that I advise for people, believe it or not, for coming from a style guy, is to dress sharp when they travel. Now, why do you want to dress sharp? You want to dress sharp because you want to send off a positive first impression. This is really important if you fly. And if you don't think that, I'll just tell you a story. I was in Chicago O'Hare the other day, went through security and dressed nice, and everyone was very friendly with me, believe it or not, at Chicago O'Hare. Right? No, Chicago's got a great people. But a lot of people, I just notice and maybe I'm always smiling and I'm trying to be friendly to people, but here's what happened is I left an item there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something I started to take off, and I had one of the security guys, basically he came after me. He remembered who I was. He remembered what I looked like, and I thanked him, and I'm like, wow, I was kind of surprised. He's like, yeah, well, I just remembered you, and I remembered who. Now, he didn't say I was well dressed, but he remembered me. And he was kind enough to, to come over and to let me know. And later on, when I walked by, the same guy, he was there. People were just friendly. Now, I have this happen to me all the time when I travel. People are friendly. People are open. People look at me and they trust, whether it be a gas station that is about to close at 11 o'clock at night. I can tell you, if you're dressed nice, if you're wearing clothing that doesn't make you look like you're possibly going to rob the place, then yeah, and I know it's not fair. It's not politically correct to say that, but people make quick judgments, and they will either say, sorry, we're closed, or they're going to say, well, this person sends a good signal. I'm going to want to help them. So you never know when it's going to pop up, but you want to make sure that you're always putting your best foot forward. Now, number two, and some of you guys may have been saying, okay, Antonio, I'm not going to dress sharp because my clothing isn't comfortable. Well, I'm going to say that you're wearing the wrong clothing, because I advise to wear clothing that is comfortable. So I'll be driving down to Austin, Texas here in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be wearing, again, probably a pair of Lee jeans with Western boots, and I'll have my sports jacket on. Actually, I'll have it off when I'm in the vehicle, and I'll have a nice dress shirt, probably with a maybe even a sweater just like this, a nice pullover. This is how I'm going to dress, and I'm very comfortable in my clothing because it fits me, number one, and then number two, I'm used to wearing it. I practice wearing it. Now, anybody that's ever played a sport, you know that sometimes, especially protective gear, the first time you put it on, it's not that it feels super uncomfortable, it's just you're not used to wearing it. But after you wear it a few times, you actually like it. In fact, when you go out on the field, you don't feel right without that protective clothing on. It's the same thing for wearing the right clothing. Initially, if you've never worn a collared shirt, you may find that you get a little bit of irritation here. Well, just practice wearing it, or look for clothing that actually make sure it fits your body. I've got an entire infographic on how clothing should fit. So just Google that and you'll find it. Number three, wear slip-on footwear. So I mentioned that I'd be wearing Western boots when I travel in the airplane. I wear slip-on dress shoes. The reason I do this is I want, going through metal detectors, I want to be able to slip it on, slip it off. If I'm going to be driving in a car for a long time, I like to take my shoes off, and nothing like, hitting that cruise control, taking off my boots and being able to relax a bit. So you want to be able for things to slip on, slip off, and for you not to be stuck there having to lace and unlace and all that not so fun stuff. Okay, so related, this is number 4, but you guys may be wondering on your dress shoes, okay, am I going to tear up the back of the dress shoe or the slip-on if I don't have a shoe tree? So tip number 4 is to use impromptu shoe trees. Whenever I'm going through airport security, if I have a belt on, what I'll use is the end of the belt as a shoehorn. If I don't have that, then I can pull out a plastic card, not a credit card, but a plastic maybe membership card, or, I don't know, one with your local food store, and you can use that as a shoe tree as well. I also do this when I'm traveling or I'm in a hotel, because you don't want to ruin the back of your shoe. So little quick ninja trick there. Number 5, okay, if you're driving for a long distance, make sure to use the hook in the back. I always take some hangers with me, and I hang up my sports jackets. I do not wear my sports jacket when I'm sitting and driving in the car for a long distance. Maybe if I'm just around town, I'm not going to bother taking it off, but most of the time, if I'm going to be driving for more than a few minutes, I'll take my jacket off and I'll either hang it on the back, or I've got a hanger there in which I can put it right on. All right, so number 6 is to carry and to use well-made luggage. Now, why is this important? Because your luggage is protecting your clothing. So I'm a big fan of Blue Claw, and Blue Claw, I think it was the story that I've used this in one of my other videos, but we were crossing the United States and I had all of my clothing in a garment bag made from ballistic nylon from Blue Claw, and no one shot at it or anything, but we did spill, or it was like we had basically a jar of maple syrup bust open, and it was right there. I mean, if it would have gone through and my clothing had just been laying there, it would have ruined thousands of dollars worth of clothing. Now, everything was protected because the garment bag was water resistant, and so it just rolled right off. Didn't have a problem. I let it dry, and then I was able to scrape it right off. So make sure you use luggage which will protect your clothing. Now, number 7, luggage identification. You want to make sure on the outside and on the inside you're using some type of identification for your luggage, because I don't know if any of you guys have flown many times, you've probably had your luggage lost, and you want to give it as good of a chance. And I know some of you guys are thinking, once that stuff is lost, it's never going to be found. Well, I like to believe that having a good piece of identification on the outside and on the inside is going to increase the chances. In fact, I like the outside identification tag to be brightly colored. The reason being, when you see all of this dark luggage out there, you're able to look for those bright identification pieces, and you can zero in and identify your luggage from a farther distance off. All right, so number 8 is always try to carry on your luggage. Now, a lot of us have started to do this because of the airlines charging baggage fees. But even before it was cool to do this, I've always been a light traveler, and I try to have everything in one bag. So when I touch down, I'm not having to find the carousel or anything where the luggage is coming down. I have possession of my bag, I can take it with me, and boom, hit the ground running. So in order to do that, let's go to number 9, pack light. Most of us don't pack light. We think we are, but we're often taking things that we don't need to, or we're trying to wear a different set of clothing every single day. Instead, look to have an interchangeable wardrobe. So on this trip to Australia, I'll be going for 8 days. I can tell you everything is going to be on a mid-sized carry-on. I'm going to take 3 jackets, 3 pairs of shoes. Now, probably only 2 pairs of shoes, probably around 5 shirts, 3 pairs of trousers, including the ones I'll be wearing. And this includes actually everything I'm wearing. So the reason I'm able to do that is because everything is interchangeable. Therefore, I'm going to show up there with about 25 to 30 different outfits that I could put together. And yes, I will probably wear the same jacket twice, or the same trousers twice, maybe even the same shirt twice, but that's fine. No one's going to notice. And just bring in a few extra pocket squares, a few, ties and other accessories, and you're going to be golden. So number 10, learn how to pack your clothing properly. So a lot of people are always asking, how do you fold a jacket? Well, you can fold a jacket, but that puts a hard crease on it. I'm a big fan of rolling your jackets and rolling your shirts. Another quick little tip, which I won't even count in there, is don't iron your shirts before you go. Actually, that leads to number 11. And number 11 is give yourself margin. So this is a new traveling tip that I have been using for the last year with great success, and that's arrive at your destination early, leave late. and set it up so that you arrive 24 to 48 hours early and you leave 24 to 48 hours late. And I know some of you guys are imagining like, oh, I don't have time for that. Or how am I going to? Well, you know what happens? Many of us, when we travel, especially for business, we get back home and we work and we try to catch up. And that's really to the detriment of our family, our kids who want to see us, or our wife. And instead of doing that, how about you show up early, get work done, so when you're at the conference, you're not constantly having to go back and check emails and do everything, but you can actually enjoy yourself at the conference. And then when the conference or the event is completed, you stay for another day, possibly two, and you get all the work done that you missed. So when you arrive home, you are actually home. All right? So those are the 11 tips. Hopefully you enjoy them. Again, I'm going to link to 22 more. So go check out the article and definitely check out Lee Jeans. Great company. Really proud to have them as a supporter of Real Men, Real Style. And that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.